Welcome to Three Word Story. With me, James, and you,
Dylan. Boom, got it.
The concept of this show, for this one person who's probably listening, Matthews, who just came in and disturbed us, this is for him the concept. We're going to use the app, What 3 Words, which will tell you 3 unique words for whatever location in the entire world. We'll get that 3 words and we will create an improvised story, each based off these 3 words. The job of the other one is to distract and poke holes in this story to try and ruin it. The one who gets through, covers these points, and gets a really solid story, wins the 3 Word Story Award of the Week. Award.
Yeah,
3 words, these 3 words.
Okay.
So, does that make sense?
Does make sense.
Well, then we'll
however, I do think that some people are naturally more gifted at point number 1, making up a story, and point number 2, hole poking. And I think especially...
I would like to say I'm a professional hole poker.
Yes.
That's my wife.
So I kind of figured, poking holes in a story, that's definitely...
I mean, just put your Sherlock Holmes hat on and if I was to say, the guy came to the bottom of the ladder and he went through the back door, and you'd be like, when the fuck was he on the ladder? Where'd he get the ladder from? What the hell, right?
Blue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of,
Yeah,
something just something very unrelated. That's how you bring it in.
Yeah. You just sideswipe and like, blue what? And you're like, da, blue, da, and that's how successful podcasts operate, I believe.
Yes.
I think that's how they operate. So that's good. So, without further ado, let's get ahead of it. Do you want to come up with a theme song whilst we're here?
Oh, that's fair.
3 Word Story.
3 Word Story.
Yeah, so what have you got?
All right, I'm thinking musical. I do overthink, so I would be like, let's go late night radio host.
Okay.
And being like, no. So I really, no. I just pull. Let's maybe go for something lighter. Just being like, okay, so James and Dylan, 3 Word Story. That's kind of like
nice.
Charlie.
Nice.
What was it? 2.5 Men. That's really where my head went.
That took me back to last night watching Hans Zimmer live. It was like I was back there again. It was like I was the drumming, the a cappella. Like I was taken aback. I really was. That's
you know what did make it better though is me doing this. That's actually how
I
you
can see the notes coming in.
Yeah.
Wow, how do you do that? It's truly extraordinary. Wrong podcast. We'll do a cappella with Dylan Jacobs.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's nice.
Right.
We could go maybe a bit more party. A bit more like we could do a parody. There we go. Do a parody. I'm going down. I'm yelling 3 words as a story. We're gonna make it, and then we'll be polite. We won't interrupt, but then we will, and we'll poke holes. The bigger the story, the harder they fall. 3 words. The longer the story, the less subscribers. 3 words. I don't know how the rest of the song goes, but I think there's something that's
there's definitely. Listen, we'll workshop that. However,
we'll purchase a drawing board and we'll go back to it. I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I kind of thought like, it's kind of the one that not that I listen to BBC radio, but like the radio shows back home. But I was like, if I did have kind of like the segment being like something short, something sweet, however, but I think there was a slight lack of creativity there. We'll kind of go for
so we can go
workshop it.
Okay, right. So maybe there's an in-between of a full-blown parody song to just what was it?
A jingle or like a just
a jingle. It's a jingle.
Yeah, it's like 4 words in total. Actually, I think it was 5 words. 6 maybe.
Okay, well then it's really against the 3 word thing. Maybe we have to do it in 3 word segments. Maybe we shouldn't get too obsessed about this. I tell you what, let's begin with the choosing of the 3 words. So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to put the postcode in. I'm not going to say it out loud just in case, this magically goes viral and pests
some
whoever
people
lives
be
there
like,
for no reason whatsoever. Maybe it'll become like an Anne Frank kind of house where people, visit there and go into the loft for no reason whatsoever. I didn't stay in the loft, but, maybe if I pretend like I did, I was hiding from people back in this house and they'd be like, this is where James came from. Maybe that's how it would. But I'm not Anne Frank. My name's James. So my 3 words for this week, Dylan, the story that I have to make. Well, this is quite fucking extraordinary. Right, so I've just typed in my postcode, and the last word is loft.
No.
Which is an Anne Frank attic. So shiver my timbers. Considered my timbers well and truly shivered. That is okay, right? So maybe we can Anne Frank it around. Maybe that's not appropriate. I don't really know where our boundaries are yet. I think Anne Frank is pretty fair game. I remember Justin Bieber went in there and said that she was a believer. So I think it's okay, and he's still doing all right. I think he's fine. So one word is loft. The other word is lied. And the third word is gladiators, which is a little bit of a side swipe. I admit, like loft and lied. Okay, it can go in somewhere. Gladiators has thrown me somewhat. But hey, we have the old Gladiators film, which the soundtrack was done by Hans Zimmer. There's a nice little full circle moment there. That was nice.
There we go.
That was nice.
Tracking
I didn't know that until last night. And the weird man who was sat next to me. No, sorry, not weird. The nice man who was...
The lonely man.
The lonely man.
Okay, the nice lonely man. Actually...
Yeah, cross that. If it was a woman, we would say, an independent, strong woman. As soon as you see a man by himself, you just think public masturbator. Like he's by himself.
Is that what people think of me?
yes. Stop touching yourself on the fucking metro. Jesus. So the nice man who just wanted to commit to a show. He was the one who told me every single time. He was like, "Ooh, gladiators, Dark Knight." So I appreciate him. So, gladiators, lied, loft. That is my story. For you, Dylan. I don't know how you're going to find your home. Do you have
my first home, or actually, I will just type in my
any home, whatever, just at home, phone home, as ET would say. Obviously, do you have postal codes in South Africa? Is that a thing? I'm not trying to say like it's a third world country or anything like that. I just don't know.
Yeah, because there's a fourth. Yeah, no. We'll click on this
because postcodes work whether or not electricity does or not, right? So I'm pretty sure that's fine.
Right. So based off of my current residence back home, the first word would be frost.
Okay, nice, interesting.
Right. Okay. Which doesn't necessarily kind of blend in well with some. I don't know much about. Okay, I could frost, but like the fridge would probably be my closest.
Okay, so maybe a story based on the fridge would be good. It could be very boring, but it also could be.
That's fair. Then second one, and I might have to confirm by googling what this word is, but like, I definitely know
put the caveat out there. English is not your first language. Immediately, should we put that out there right now?
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Now you are also going to laugh. Why? Because my head goes to different places when hearing a word, and I see things, or kind of like I imagine the word more so than actually just reading the word. So it's kind of
algebra and equations dancing around your head magically when you see this word.
Yeah, until you hear the word blurts. So yeah, I
okay, right, okay. Okay, I was thinking
which was just
maybe like onomatopoeia.
No,
Sanitarian establishment, whatever that word
Don't
is.
insult me, James, please.
So again, so the first word was frost. The second word is
blurts.
Blurts,
and then the third word would be markets.
Markets, blurts, frost. Gladiator, loft, lied. I think these are locked in. Markets, blurt. Blurt. You're blurting stuff out. I mean, I think you've got scope for a story there.
It's definitely kind of, and again, it can either work for you or against you. I think, like, if the words are so different from each other that you can't link them, right? But there's more space to kind of you can kind of bring that.
I mean, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get a gladiator in a loft. You know, I don't know if the Romans had lofts. I'll have to, maybe I can do a bit of research into that. Did Julius Caesar create the attic? I do not know. I do not know if it was just a World War II invention. We'll have to go back for that. It's very Anne Frank heavy.
It does seem,
but I haven't said the German kind of political party that was around that time. I nearly said the N word, but that would be completely misconstrued into something else. Obviously, the N word I meant was Nazis.
Yes,
right. And I haven't said that word. There was. I was kind of pre-editing in my head all then, and it was getting worse. But yeah. So stay away from the word Nazis, definitely. Because no one likes them, as far as I know.
As far as you know,
unless gladiators do.
But we'll find out soon.
Well, I think. We are yet to have a drawing board, but we'll go to the metaphorical drawing board, which, as we know, is the pub. And we will flesh out these ideas, and then we will attack each other with these phenomenal stories. We'll be right back. So, welcome back to 3-Word Stories with James and Dylan. So, we are extremely sober, non-merry, and ready to go, I would say. Now, maybe the first person would be a disadvantage telling the first story of a 3-word story. So we are going to leave it to probably one of the most mystical powers that you could ever have in the world. Some people flip a coin. Some people ask Jesus. Some people ask, ghosts, or they'll do a Ouija board, or they'll do many things. We, on the other hand, are going to ask a tom-tom suite. Okay, so this is a tom-tom suite. The first time I've ever seen one, but they are a strong menthol flavored candy. And this is what's going to decide who tells the first improvised story on 3-word story. Now I ask you, Dylan, would you go tom-tom or no tom-tom?
Honestly, I definitely go tom-tom.
You're going to go tom-tom.
Reason being, I'm not too much for facts and figures and kind of, it's like I do not care about the calorie count.
Okay, so you don't want to know about consumer relations.
Even better.
Let me get this straight, right? So you care about tom-tom, but you don't give a shit about the back of this. Is that what you're saying? Good, great. So, Dylan, I can confirm, you do not give a shit about Cadbury Nigeria. You do not give a shit about Latif, Jakande Road, or...
No, Latif, Jakande Road. He's my favorite.
No. So, you don't give a shit about Nigeria, which is fair enough. You can't give a shit about the whole of Africa. It makes sense. But I do. And this really means a lot to me. So, for Nigeria, I really hope that I can tell the first story. I think the winner tells the first one. I guess it's a big thing, right? Like, this is kind of, there'll only ever be one first. So,
so fair.
Tom or Nigeria?
Well, hello, consumer.
Nigeria it is.
Okay.
So here we go. So the first story ever on 3-word stories. So for the people who maybe skipped the intro because the audio was so bad, that's why we're talking to this caterpillar-like little fluff ball. My words were lied, loft, and gladiator. And people may think, well, this is not very improvised if it's on the tube of you. On this page here, I counted this many words. 1, 2, 3. Those are my 3 words. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 20 words, right? So it's not really a kind of a fleshed out story. This is kind of going to be as we go. Okay. I don't know how many words you've put on your pad of notes, but we will see. We will see. So my words are lied, loft, gladiator. Now, I'll be very honest, I did a bit of internet research and I've actually come across quite an interesting story. Okay. And this story, what are you laughing at? Oh, okay. Right. So,
can we actually verify these sources, or is it like,
hey, let's leave it to the end. Let's leave it to the end and we will see.
From the tube of you.
Yeah,
I just made all this up.
I've glanced over and I've had a look and this is a extraordinary tale about how the gladiator, Russell Crowe, got his name. So let me take you back into the 1960s. A young, as we now know him, Russell Crowe, was named Norbert Swallows.
Sorry. You see, this is actually based off of the fact that I could actually keep my merriness inward, and I do apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, hey, at the end of the day, do we know many Norbert Swallows? I don't think we do. But we take you back to 1969, where a young Norbert Swallows has just moved to Australia. And Norbert Swallows is a bit of a rascal, our Norbert Swallows, okay? He's getting into mischief, getting into hijinks. His mother's telling him, "Oi, Norbert, get up on here. Come on, you get up and inside." We know.
That was a great...
Yeah, thank you. That was Norbert Swallows. That was Margarita Swallows. That was her name. And she does, by the way. That's as they do say. She does indeed. She does. So we take you back to Norbert Swallows. Now, Norbert Swallows was part of a lovely community. And he would go around, he would be digging back gardens, inspecting insects. He was a kid that loved insects.
Okay, so I just wanted to confirm he's a human though.
He's a
human being, like a Norbert Swallows.
He's a young whippersnapper who is going through. He's 10. He's 10 years old. He's got his magnifying glass. He's got his book of insects, because obviously internet wasn't a thing back then. And he's checking out insects. He's I fucking love worms. I love cockroaches.
Insects.
Crikey. Oh, no. Bloody, cool. No. All of the above, right? So he is just going around his business. And the thing is about Norbert, he is a naturistic boy. So he's there. He's talking to the insects. He's talking to the birds. He is, coincidentally by name, really fascinated by swallows. Now, swallows are beautiful, petite bird, soft, silky feathers, and he takes a particular interest in them. Okay. And he documents everything. You can see that there's a blue swallow, there's a yellow swallow, and, the mum's like, "Oh, you go, Nigel, you had a good time, it's all great and fantastic." Until one day. And one day, there is disturbances across the community. The community. No, I was building a bit of tension. The community in Australia,
which is called
Tinnebago. All right, so this is in Tinnebago. Yeah, it's an old indigenous name. The word that I just said, that I can remember
from
Tinnebago.
Yeah, so
it's not like Perth. That was definitely one of ours. But Tinnebago. So they've moved to Tinnebago, the community of Tinnebago. Okay, and Tinnebago is. Look, I've researched this. This is fact, right? So Tinnebago.
Sure.
So across the community, people are going into their lofts. Now, lofts, I don't know if this is a universal word for an attic or a void in roof or a roof hat or potential BDSM opposite of dungeon. So they call it a negative dungeon because a dungeon is obviously underground is what we think of it, but a negative dungeon is upstairs. Because at the end of the day, not
good man.
Hey,
that was good.
If you need to tie someone up, you don't have a basement.
You do
get
it
yourself
upstairs.
A negative dungeon, because a sexy attic doesn't really have the same vibe. But
because you don't want to. I don't know. Do people go up on someone or do they only go down on someone?
I mean, once you've gone down on someone, I assume you would then eventually go up. Otherwise,
What goes down must go up. Says no.
Exactly. What a thing to say to a David. Well, love, what goes down must come up. Okay, I'm leaving, Dylan. I'm gonna go home now. That was the fucking cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life. All right. So anyway, back to
Right, sorry.
the community of Tinnebago. So, a young Norbert Swallows is going around his business, researching insects, birds, the rest of it. And there is whispers, there's stories that people with their loft attic spaces, their belongings, their Christmas decorations, their old records, getting destroyed. They're getting ruined. They're getting pecked. They're getting destroyed, Dylan. And these are things that, these are family heirlooms. These are old portraits, right? These are things that mean, yes, you will not adorn your home with them, but these are things that mean something to someone. So, young Norbert Swallows decides to investigate. He goes, "Oh, mother, I'm going to go do some investigation, mum." And she goes, "All right." And so he goes about it. Norbert knocks on every single door in the community, and he checks out those loft spaces. And he sees discarded cardboard boxes. He sees portraits ruined, but he does not see any evidence of who this might be. He goes from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And then one day, Norbert goes, "I'm just going to check your loft." And he goes up there. He hears this movement, this little pecking, scruffling, everything. And there he locks eyes. A crow. The crow looks at him with those dark, beady eyes and those black feathers, like the bird of death. And Norbert Swallows looks at him and he goes, "Go away." And he shakes everything around him, and that crow flies and flocks away. Norbert feels very proud of himself. He comes down and he tells his mum, he goes, "Oi, mum, I've only gone and bloody solved it." And she goes, "Oh, Norbert, what was it?" He goes, "It was a bloody crow." She goes, "What did you do?" And he goes, "I bloody rustled." The mother tells the community about the strong and noble deed that Norbert did that day. And from there on in, he was called Russell Crowe. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking.
No, he knows what I'm thinking.
He forgot about the lied word. That's what you're thinking, right? Because there was clearly Gladiator, which relates to Russell Crowe. There was definitely a loft in there, but you're thinking, James, you fucking idiot. On the first story, you've only covered 2 words out of the 3. Well, here is the twist. Okay? On that fateful day when he went into the loft, as the pre-Gladiator Norbert Swallows looked into the black eyes of that bird, it was not a crow. But it was the beautiful swallow that Norbert enjoyed so much, that his family crest was based on. And to see this elegant swallow defiling the goods of the people of Tinnebago, he decided he will sacrifice his family name of the swallow, and he blamed the crow. So from here on in, every single time you see Russell Crowe in an interview, even at the age of 54, around about that, yeah, the age of around 54, when they go, "Oh, Russell Crowe, how are you? How's the rugby team?" You'll see there's a little bit of pain in his eyes, a tear rolling down as he knows that deep down within him, he will always and forever be Norbert swallows.
I love the ending though. So Norbert swallows.
Norbert swallows.
Norbert swallows.
So look, I wanted to do like an improvised story to begin with, but to Google a little bit about Russell Crowe and to find out that complete factual story that with absolutely no ad hocing whatsoever, I thought I might as well bring that as a good, because hey, what's a better story than real life? So, it would have been nice to kind of just go completely off board and go, like improvise. But I thought, really we're going to understand the real Russell Crowe, and that is, of course, Norbert Swallows.
Norbert Swallows.
So, yeah. So, look, I know that's the first and that's where we are with it, but I would love to hear, what you thought of it. I mean, obviously you can't poke any holes because it's fact and it's true in literally every single sense of the word. I fact checked everything. I emailed Russell Crowe, aka Norbert Swallows' agent. Everything's verified, is all good. So I can't imagine for a second that you would poke any holes in it.
I would say that was well fucking done. I'm honestly impressed. Considering you just basically read off of the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I mean, it's factual,
yeah. So I actually really enjoyed that.
Okay.
I think the fact that you could, honestly, within the first 5 minutes, kind of conjure up this factual story.
There was no conjuring. Zero conjuring. I regurgitated is the word, not conjuring. There was zero conjuring. There was no conjure.
Stop using words I don't understand.
Yeah, well, you came up with conjure. I did not conjure. There was no conjure. Zero conjure. Okay, no conjure came up my mouth.
Stop blurting out shit.
To be continued.
Yeah, okay, but no, I actually thoroughly enjoyed that. It's probably a lot more creative than my story would be. Because
again, not creative. It's true. So.
It's fair. So no, I just figured I'll share some of my personal experiences. What I am doing here in the UAE.
Okay.
Right. And that kind of leads me, or is probably a good segue. So just to reiterate, my 3 words were markets, frosted,
Or frost. I think it was frost.
frost.
Frost, yeah. But yeah, I
Frost.
mean, you could
Frost.
frosted.
Frosted.
It's your creative control. Yeah.
Frosted and blurts.
Blurt. A word that you know extremely well.
Yes. So, without further ado, let me kind of just. That looks terrible. It looks like I'm ready to read off of the teleprompter.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do look like the scribblings of a psychopath. So.
Anyway, but just for the notes. Just for the notes, I actually lost all my notes. This was all last minute things that I just jotted.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I mean, but this is improvised in every single way. So
Oh yeah.
Notes or no notes.
Yeah.
Let's delve into the mind.
Right. So
Dialogue.
you know what? So I'm here in the UAE. I do real estate, and I'll start from where I'm from, South Africa. So this is a bit more of a personal story. Again, actually pretty factual. With my attempt at kind of putting in some blurts of comedy.
Mm-hmm. Right. To the listener, by the way, there was hand signals of blurting. I assume that was sign language for blurt. That was or angry goose. But anyway,
it was all just
blurting. Blurting.
Hand
Nice
blurt.
hand blurt. Yeah.
Anyway, so what I wanted to say was, so I'm here in the UAE and taking us back to South Africa. And back to 1652.
Wow, okay. I didn't know you were that old, but 1652, yes, please.
So that's actually when markets really got started. That's actually why the Dutch arrived there. They didn't kind of, and there my English left me.
Immediately.
Yeah, because you just normally just leave, and then you leave people to kind of think, this is the bell.
Baguette.
Anyway, so, what I wanted to say, 1652. Either way, markets got started. That's actually why they built like trading post down there, southern tip of Africa, kind of as a trading point between like India and kind of the rest of Europe, and then kind of da.
So just to confirm,
Sorry. Yes.
southern tip of Africa, I guess that's where they got the name for the country, right?
You know what? They weren't too creative with the name, as in Namibia. Don't get me wrong. I have no fucking clue what Namibia means.
I think it was the Ibia near the Nam, I believe.
That's about Nam.
Nam is where you're eating, where there's a lot in your mouth and you're just going nom 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 nom
Yeah.
nom nom.
And then what was the Ibia?
So the Ibia is the female genitals, but without the first letter. So it's like your labia. So it's actually named after a guy who just loved eating pussy, you know, and that is why I love Namibia.
And that is actually where you went. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
or where he went, or like
No, that's
that's
all he went. Yeah,
That's all.
and there was the Great Lakes of Namibia, and unfortunately they dried up, as they do, as we all know they do. They all have an expiry date. So unfortunately, there's no Nams on the Ibia anymore.
no more Nams.
No, there's no more
Nams on the Ibia. Okay, well,
the
right.
salty
Considering, I won't say for which company I work for.
especially after that conversation.
But no, so I actually just wanted to touch on the markets, considering that I had to use the word market. But
okay.
no. There we go. No. So the real reason was that I was actually just bullshitting about this 1652. I was in real estate back home. The markets I didn't see myself on the way up, so I figured, let's go where where things seem to be happening. So I figured, Dubai is the place to be, and that is the reason why that's why I find myself in this particular spot where I could explain how the next two words were then connected.
Fantastic. Okay,
yeah,
right, so
yeah. So it's a kind of
some people would probably think that you couldn't fit the third one in. And you just kind of thought, fuck it, I'm just going to say it. And then you brought the other. But I guess other people thought that maybe
just
not.
It'd just be like markets.
Exactly.
Blurt.
Yeah. And then
So I could just create a sentence. That would have been a lot easier, but very terrible. Yeah, I don't think it's good for the viewership. But so no, I got here. I'm not the most sociable person. However, one of my first weeks in the office, in kind of this new environment, a new market, Abdul, then
he's
kind of
we're just we're still in this market, by the way. There's people walking around. It's kind of early days. The market is happening around us.
Right.
I just feel like we're on TV. So this is nice. Yeah.
So no, I I don't know if it's necessary, but Abdul's a fan of curry.
Okay.
Right? I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to look like he's from the UK. However, he has more tolerance for spice than this particular
white guy does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was like, Dylan, you up for food? And I said, yeah, sure, 100%. And he was like, yeah, I know this fantastic place in JLT. And I was like, oh, sure, 100%. And he's like, do you eat curry? And I'm like, well, I'm from South Africa. We've got a good mix of like Cape Malay, and we've kind of got a good mix of the Indian culture, and like I can handle a bit of spice.
South Africa is famous for accepting all races.
They're good mix or cocktail country of
and just to confirm, this is the southern tip of Africa.
Yes, because
it is.
If the name does not indicate,
there may be some Americans listening to this, and we just need to confirm.
What is that?
Yeah,
sorry, that wasn't even. I'm not even sure what that was.
Where's the southern part of Africa? I thought it was all.
Where's the southern? where's the southern part of Africa?
Fuck, you should do the whole thing in
Yeah,
that
that
voice.
was-
That's way better.
Go down low.
No, you went too far.
No, sorry. Yeah. But back up.
So back up again. Back in Cape Town.
What's up, Doc? Anyway.
Right. So yeah,
Sorry.
so curry, Abdul.
Yes. So this was probably around 9ish in the evenings, whatever. It was fairly late. We left the office. However, I think Howard, the butter chicken that I ended up ordering was maybe
Famous for its mildness, right?
yeah, famous for its mildness. However, I think what probably got to it more, and again, I'm obviously no food scientist, or you probably don't even have to be a food scientist.
No, anyone
Dylan.
listening to this or viewing, the two people that are viewing this, which is, probably
Food scientists.
someone who's just found my phone. They look at these two people and be like, well, he's clearly a physicist and a historian of all Australian history. And that guy is a food scientist if ever I've seen one. You can tell by his...
No, so as far as I figured, right, this particular chicken was was probably defrosted and frosted and defrosted
Right, okay.
too many fucking times.
Okay, right. So like, no Indian voice. We need the chicken. No, we don't need the chicken. We need the chicken. We don't need the chicken. Right, okay.
And I can tell you, my belly did not agree with the amount of times it was back and forth between the people in the kitchen, being
so
like,
it has
"Listen,
a
should
set
we
amount
use
of
it?"
times of-
Yeah. So I think that was honestly not kind of the best way to go. But so, needless to say, upon tasting it, again, you have this blurt of flavors. Right. No, I think that's fair. I think that kind of works. Maybe that's exited. Maybe it's a blurt into my...
Please let us know in the comments. Was that the correct use of blurt?
No. So either way, no.
No. JJ Royle 94 says no.
Anyway, so either way, I had some curry. Absolutely. It looks like I need a bath towel when eating curry because I just...
There's a lot of damage.
It's a lot. And... but that was kind of just the beginning of the story. And, it's funny, is Abdul suggested this restaurant and he was like, this is one of the best curry restaurants. All the taxi drivers go there. And I'm like...
Define best. Define best.
So now
best can be best for affordability.
Yes.
Best could be the most for an extreme colonic, like an exiting colonic, which gives you such violent diarrhea that you're literally cleaned out. That could also be the best.
And I kind of asked this question myself, thinking, I'm not too sure what that means. However, like this podcast, you try anything once, right?
Yeah, and your sex life.
So I had this meal, and now I'm dripping in sweat. That's, however, not the issue. It was probably 45 minutes later where we were kind of driving back home. He dropped me off and I stayed on the 9th floor of this particular building, and 4 elevators. However, one was not working and the rest was so full that you really can't get up. So I have. So kind of driving home, or him kind of driving me home, I was like, something's off over here. And now I'm kind of thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Do you pull over and shit? Do you shit in their car?
What do you kind of do? Because I've never I've never
Shit yourself?
No, I've never. I don't know if you want to mix words. I've never blurted a frosty or
Blurted out Uranus.
or frosted a blurty. So I kind of figured
You're missing
that
out, my friend.
I'm I'm
So you
not sure
weren't
what
in the
to do.
market for blurting some frost out Uranus?
No, not at all. So I kind of figured that, okay, so I walk in, I'm already fairly nervous about what might happen. And I walk into the building and it's just, I mean, like 20 people queuing for each elevator.
They probably
lift going up.
to.
And I was like, fuck that. I'm going up the stairs.
Okay, a reasonable response.
Reasonable
I think
response.
we would all do the same.
However, being new to Dubai's market, I was absolutely fucking terrified that public indecency, or at least stairway indecency,
Why
is
was
a
your
fucking thing.
cock flopping
Because
around?
no, I honestly thought that, and I have actually never. Now I'm doing this on such a public platform, but I started crying because I've never been. I was in the. I think the English word is the fetal position. So imagine me. I'm fucking already drenched with sweat. I'm halfway up this, and there's no like.
So you're 3 floors up.
There's no water point where they're like, Dylan, congrats.
There's no stairway toilet.
There's no stairway
That's what I hate about this country more than anything. There's no stairway toilets. I hate that. You know, when you just need to drop the kids off at the pool 3 floors up and you just can't take a quick shit. You know.
So I was literally being like, is this it? This is the no. Listen, I will tell you, is this it? Because I thought, Dylan, you had a good 2-week run. 2-week run. You are going to shit yourself.
You're going to shit yourself. Oh my god.
King of the castle. And then I thought either I was going to shit in my pants or I'm going to pull down my pants and be the guy that shits on the stairway.
Hey, every city has
and I
one.
can, no, but you know what, right? I'm it's unfortunately that normally when I do speak to people about these deep conversations, it's about controlling my blurts. But
Anal blurts are something we've all got to control.
So
This is brought to you by Anal Blurt Control. Keep control of those anal blurts.
Needless to say, I pulled my pants.
What, they were down at this point? you
Pulled my
dropped
pants
trowel?
back up.
So you did drop trowel to
I was kind of I was teasing
half moon. Okay.
because I honestly did think I was going to do this, and again, this was probably not what you guys were ready to hear. However, I ended up pulling my pants back up and
By the way, when this does take off, for those at home, CCTV is everywhere in Dubai. So there is almost certainly what looks like a video of Dylan flashing a ghost up on the 3rd floor staircase of a serial homosexual ghost on the stairway of an Al Barsha
he would have
tower.
gotten why would I'm saying he?
Dropped yourself in it, my friend. Oh, go on then. No, actually, maybe not. Okay.
No. So either way, I was thinking throughout this story. Even I thought, well, what would be a good kind of punchline to end it? But I just no. There's absolutely no way of ending that.
I mean, the
story.
homosexual
But
stairway ghost is one way to do that. I kind of like that. It's just offering a bum on the 3rd floor. You've not lived until you've been offered a bum on the 3rd floor staircase.
Yeah. However, yeah.
It'd be a weird episode of, weird film of Harry Potter if Nearly Headless Nick was offering a bum on the 3rd floor staircase. You know,
if it was,
yeah, that's why he's nearly. It's actually called Nearly Head Nick because he offers to suck out all the boys' cocks. So
I wish I was a. No, I'm not even going to say that. No, I just wanted to say I haven't watched too much Harry Potter, so that
it's a lot of sucking off. There's a lot. Honestly, the staircases move everywhere. There's just sucking dick left, right, and center.
Left, right, and center. But no,
but trust me, everyone is their genders. Otherwise, J.K. Rowling would be very sad.
So no, I think.
But yeah, so I think
I think that kind of ties my story. So together, being like, listen, looking for greener pastures in new markets, and then I mean, some questionable foods being frozen, unfrozen, defrosted, not frosted, frosted, and then me just absolutely fucking blurting. But I didn't actually.
So
myself.
You got to.
I got to
the ceramic throne.
The ceramic throne, and I did not end up shitting myself. But you know what? You know when. I almost kind of related to a near-death experience, and I'm probably taking away from people that actually have been closer to death. Yeah, I am. However, fuck you, because because that was pretty fucking close, and that really made me rethink. Okay, point number one, eating curry, but like I just appreciated
what it's like to be
everything around me a bit more so because just having
a near shot experience.
Near shot experience. That's
the name of the episode.
Near shot experience.
Yeah, so
that's
someone's like, had a heart attack, a catastrophic heart attack, had to be resuscitated for an hour. I was technically dead for a quarter of an hour. You say to them, Dylan,
no,
fuck you. You say,
fuck you.
You said, fuck you. I nearly shit myself on the 3rd floor whilst offering myself to a homosexual ghost on the 3rd floor of a building in Dubai. Fuck you. I nearly shit myself to death. Sharted.
It does sound like I've had more
trauma.
Anal trauma.
So. Yeah. And then is there a worse trauma than anal trauma? Please put your answers in the comments. Is there worse trauma than anal trauma? Anal trauma. Please don't put the comments because as I say that, I realize there's many traumas and none of them are funny. So which one? So
go down that.
Yeah, so just a word to our sponsor, BetterHelp. If you need help with your trauma, particularly anal trauma, then subscribe to BetterHelp. They will help you through thick and thin.
Ooh,
thick and thin. So
you even looked into the camera.
Okay, so we've had then 2 very true stories, steeped in fact,
yes,
belief in realness, and I think that is a great way to start. I think if this conversation or this whole thing ever makes it to the light of day, then I'm sorry. We're trying to figure things out. There's a market to deal with. There's it can be pretty frostily received at some point. Some of the things may be conceived as lies. Maybe we could go to a loft, do our podcast there. But hey, we're gladiators at the end of the day. We're going to fight our way through. And yes, you may have realized I've only said 5 of the words. And no, that's not because I've forgotten it. That's because I'm waiting for you to come in with your last word and then relay it to the story, which is... Lies. No, that was my word, you dickhead. Oh, fuck. That was nearly so slick. Hang on. We can edit it.
Blurted,
yeah. Blurted, so you blurted in with lies, which is the perfect way to do it.
Which is all lies.
Deceit and lies. So I think that was 3-word story. I think that was an extraordinary beginning. And if this does ever make it to the light of day, I think you say, please like and subscribe. Tell us about your anal trauma in the comments. What else do we want to know? Have you ever been offered a bum by a 3rd floor ghost in your life? And have you seen the misery and depression in Russell Crowe's eyes when he cannot be known as Norbet Swallows?
Have you actually called him Norbet Swallows? Like, I honestly think on the red carpet, like, if you want to see somebody shook You
the
just
core.
call him Norbet Swallows.
Which is a shame because I'm sure he had a very good homosexual porn career waiting for him as Norbert Swallows. I know I did anyway, but you know, it's fine. Hey, different. Oh fuck! Oh, slick. It's well, I went too far. Anyway, please like and subscribe. And edit this out. So please like and subscribe. There's more to come. It'll be a slicker, faster, to the point, and potentially even more less tipsy. Thank you very much.